The Directorate of Criminal Investigations now wants the Public Prosecutor's Office to take over the Kenya Pipeline corruption allegations case. The DPP will now be joining the probe already being undertaken by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the National Assembly. As Sam Ogina reports, the DPP's entry comes despite an advisory by the Attorney General to settle the 655 million shilling case out of court.
It has been one of the least understood cases in all the corruption-related investigations, and now the Director of Public Prosecutions is expected to join in the fray to try and get to the bottom of how 6 rehydrant pit valves for refueling aircrafts and a 2-year maintenance spare parts ended up costing Kenyans 655 million shillings. It all began when Kenya Pipeline received the valves from Aero Dispenser Valves Limited in July 2015 and paid 200 million shillings upfront. The standoff is now over the remaining 455 million shillings. EACC flagged the procurement as suspect, but the supplier wants to be paid. Documents in our possession indicate the local firm that supplied the hydrant pit valves had in fact been contracted 3 times between 2013 and 2015 by Kenya Pipeline Company. A probe by EACC and the DCI claiming that the company, Aero Dispenser Valves Limited's directorship, was in dispute, with questions as to whether it was a genuine company. Despite EACC opening the case in 2015, which is also under parliamentary scrutiny, the DCI is equally probing the matter and now wants the DPP involved in the case to bring it to a close. It is emerging that while EACC froze further payment of 455 million shillings to Aero Dispenser Valve Limited, the anti-graft body in March 2018 gave the pipeline company the green light to use the equipment, resulting to a suit for the balance and interest accrued since the delivery was done in 2015. The Attorney General, in a legal opinion, directed Kenya Pipeline to explore out-of-court settlement of the case to safeguard any further loss of public funds, given the pipeline company had a contractual agreement with Aero Dispenser Valve Limited. The company had sued KPC for non-payment in 2017, but was prevailed upon to settle the matter out of court. But when that failed, Aero Dispenser Valve went back to court in 2018, seeking its balance of 455 million shillings and interest. Although EACC claims the paper trail in the tender process was a forgery, Citizen TV has obtained a sworn affidavit by the Director of Allied Inspection and Testing, Inc., James David Hughes, validating the documentation by the manufacturer of the valves, Claval. Claval in the documents appointed the Canadian firm, Allied Inspection and Testing Company, which in turn appointed the local agent, Aero Dispenser Valve, to supply the valves. The company supplied the 60 valves, but with a 2-year maintenance spare parts valued at approximately 655 million shillings. KPC paid 200 million shillings, with the balance of 455 million shillings in contention since the probe in 2015. Sam Ogina for The Big Question.